taking people on a journey. So from day one, are there hesitations like, I'm not good at maths, I don't like numbers, I don't have a STEM background? Are these the kind of things you hear?
100%.
And what do you say then to them?
I think it's a series of different things, and we talk a lot about sort of change management, and Greg's referenced it a few times, because we're working with adults. You know, it's easy when you start to talk about sort of the teaching of children where they've got no concept of everything's new and exciting. So you're building from scratch. But when you're working with adults, there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of fear from school. There's a lot of built up bad practice or knowledge or a bad experience in workplaces. And what we've got to spend the time doing is recognising that and then unpicking it and enabling us to really understand the challenges that they're facing and why, and doing that in a safe space. That means that you don't put somebody into a programme with us from day one and then expect them to go through, you know, all of this new language, all of these new expectations, when they're probably, most people haven't been in an education setting for a long, long time. So it's about really starting from that basic perspective of unlocking that confidence and mindset and acknowledgement of it's going to be a journey. This is the starting point, but it doesn't start with the education. It very much starts with the change management process and much before then, doesn't it?
100%. And I mean, fundamentally and scientifically, the adult brain is just not as ready to learn and develop as a growing brain, right? Like that's, so you've got to be patient with that. I think what we see as a real, I'll call it a gotcha, but it's more of a repeated mistake we see across internal programs, is this expectation that people will want this. And actually there's two dangers with that. So the first is that you kind of go and you just expect it, and therefore you think you can roll out some self-service learning on LinkedIn Learning and it'll fix all your problems. That's not going to happen. That's a pretty poor solution to the problem. And I think the other one then is that you've just got a load of people who will put their hand up, and that's fine because you want appetite. There's no doubt you want appetite. But if 15% of the business want to learn and the other 80% don't, and then you've got your 5% of data professionals, if all you do is go after people who've got appetite, you've probably only satisfied the data professionals and the like hands up people, and that leaves you with a massive silent majority that you're not engaging. So I think the assumption that this is wanted is a big danger. Actually appreciating that there's a lot of people and there's massive bodies of research way beyond what we've got the bandwidth and scope to do that suggest it is north of 80% of the business. You've got to go and get them too, because if you just stick with that data professional high appetite outside the data team community, you're going to widen that gap I talked about earlier. That gap just gets bigger and you leave more and more people behind. And I think the industry at the moment is obsessed with data quality, and not for any negative reason. I think it's a significant problem within data. There's no doubt about it. Most of data quality issues are created by that 80%. They're created by the people that just don't care about data right now. So if you just ignore them and pretend they're not there, you're going to lose on the things that you care about. And data quality is definitely one of those things that people care about.
And they don't know what they don't know. So if you say to somebody and you put it out there like, oh, we want you to be more data literate, or we want you to use data differently, and they say, oh, well, I have this spreadsheet of my own that I use here, or I've got, this person gives me this information. I don't need anything else, because you're asking them to imagine a world or a situation that they have absolutely no context in. And I think that's part of or fear. It's only ever been used in a negative concept. So it's only ever been used to evidence bad behaviour or poor performance or a situation that hasn't been super positive. And I think what I get really excited about is the opportunity that it can bring and the difference it can make. And I think when you start to engage people on that one-to-one, they start to see that actually I don't have to fear this. There are things that are really exciting about this, that we can, what if this happens, and what if that happens, what will look different, and what do I want to learn that I can use not just in my work but in my home life, or that I can work with my kids and grandkids about and have conversations about their world. And it's that step by step getting excited about it.